Everyone, Fearless Football Forecast here, and today we're going to be changing things up a little bit. We've been doing regular mock drafts. We've been doing Dynasty mock drafts. This time we're going to be doing a rookie mock.
Yeah, and I'm pretty excited for this one. A lot of leagues, Dynasty leagues, might have already done their rookie draft, but we haven't been able to give you the experience of our mindset in a rookie draft. So I'm excited to kind of get our feelings out there for a normal rookie draft. For this, obviously, we don't have a real Dynasty team, so we're just going off of who we think the best player at that pick is. And for this, it's going to be PPR league and one quarterback league.
And we got the random number generator out, and here we go. We're going to do rock, paper, scissors to see who gets the first number. Ready?
Rock, scissors.
All right. You get it.
Cool.
Let's see who you got.
Where are we at?
Pick number 4.
Okay, I can live with that, I guess.
And I got pick number 2.
All right, let's do it.
So we're both pretty early on. Unfortunately,
right.
neither of us won the Bijan Robinson sweepstakes.
Yeah, right.
Pick number 2 for me this year is a no-brainer. The more that the offseason happens and the more reports that I'm hearing and the more positively I think about the Detroit Lions, I love Jahmyr Gibbs. I think that he can be like the next Alvin Kamara for fantasy. I don't think as good, but I definitely think he'll be solid. Definitely the number 2 out of these guys. Only other player I would consider taking there would be Richardson, but I like Jahmyr Gibbs a lot. I am out on Jackson Smith and Jigba entirely.
So I like Jackson Smith and Jigba, but honestly, I'm kind of happy I have the 4th pick because I have a guy who I think is going to be able to carve out an immediate role, and I think will be a pretty solidly consistent player in the league. I love your pick of Gibbs, by the way, but I'm going to go with I would consider Anthony Richardson here because we've talked about it before. We both think Anthony Richardson is going to be a difference maker for dynasty leagues. But I'm going to go with my guy, Jordan Addison. I think he's going to be really, really good this year. And I think that he's going to be pretty consistent throughout his career.
Okay, so this went in a weird way of doing it, and Richardson actually fell very far. And I just want to talk about this real quick because the value of getting a top 5 or top 10 quarterback far exceeds the value of, let's say, a top 35, top 40 receiver. So personally, I would take Richardson 3rd after Gibbs and Bijan. I don't see – I love the talent of Flowers. I like the positioning of Quentin Johnson, and I think that Addison's probably going to be the best out of them in year 1. Like I said, I'm out on Njigba, but none of them, I think, hold the value and potential that Anthony Richardson has, especially in Dynasty. It looks like Charbonnet went, Kendre Miller, Devin. All right, so now we're in a position where, part of me wants to take Mayer because I think that he's going to be a solid talent, but I'm going to go with the quarterback that I think has more upside. I already have my running back, so I'm going to go with Bryce Young here. I think that was the pick, the obvious pick to make in that situation.
All right. And I thought that you would consider this guy, but I'm going to go with our boy we both love. I've said it repeatedly. I think he's going to end up carving out the starting running back role by the end of the year, by mid-season. I'm going to go with Roschon Johnson. To be able to come away with a running back and a receiver that I truly like and I think are going to be pretty productive, certainly this year, and could have a consistent future, I'm very happy with my start.
So I was terrified for a second that I wasn't going to get a player that's going to be on the starting roster of a team right away because I think that I'm about to get the last player that's actually guaranteed to start. As much as I like Chase Brown, I like Schoonmaker a lot as well. I love Zach Evans. I have to go with Jalen Hyatt because I know for a fact that he's going to be on the field. He might take over as the Giants' number 1 receiver. So I really like Hyatt here. I don't think he's ever going to be that great, but he's at least going to give you some production.
Yeah, so right now for me, this is after the news that Mixon has restructured his contract. So I like Chase Brown, but there's another guy who I'm going to lean over him. I'm going to go with Luke Musgrave. I think that I love his athleticism, and I think that there's an opportunity for him to potentially carve out a role as the number two receiver. So that's what I'm going to hope for, and I'm going to hope that he can become a consistent target over the years. So I'm going to go with Luke Musgrave.
Please fall to me. Please fall to me. No, Schoonmaker. I wanted Schoonmaker so bad there in this position. So now I'm going to be taking someone who is probably going to end up being the backup to a player who's never actually been in the starting role. So I'm going to go with Dwayne McBride, Alexander Madison, the new starting running back for the Minnesota Vikings. So I'm going to take McBride there. I think he's got a good chance of seeing at least some snaps this season. And if anything were to happen to Madison, he's a great handcuff to have.
So it was down to two picks for me. Dwayne McBride would have been one of my picks just because it's in the fourth round. At this point, you're really just taking shots, and more than likely you're not going to get anything from your fourth round pick in a rookie draft. So for him to have a path at getting running back touches, he would have been my pick as well. The other guy that I wanted is here for me. I'm going to go with Michael Wilson. I like Rondale Moore, but I think that there is a world where Michael Wilson could be the number two, the outside receiver. I think Rondale Moore will play primarily in the slot. I think Hollywood is good, but he's really only good at being a deep threat, in my personal opinion. And he's he's been injured a couple times. So I think there is a world where Michael Wilson can carve himself a decent amount of targets. And I'm hoping that world comes true for me.
I like Wilson as well. And the last player that I'm going with, I've kind of gone really safe. Like, I love my draft so far. I think every single player that I've drafted is going to give you points this year. The last player I'm going to go with is a little bit more of a shot in the dark. He was very late drafted, but I thought that he had like round 3 talent, and that's A.T. Perry, who got drafted to the New Orleans Saints. He's pretty much a prototype. Very similar to Michael Thomas. So if something were to happen with Thomas, he might be able to just slot right in. And with Derek Carr being there, that's going to be great for his career. Obviously, Olave is the number one, so he doesn't have that opportunity, but I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Thomas went down. A.T. Perry took a lot of his work.
All right, and I'm going to go with a guy who actually you kind of first put me onto this guy. I think that in most realities, obviously Dobbins is the number one running back for this team, but there is a world where, one, he could get hurt again. It's happened multiple times throughout his, collegiate and NFL career. And if this guy does ever get playing time, he's, great quarterback, going to be a good offense. I'm going to go with, Keaton Mitchell. I think if he somehow through injuries gets a chance to play, he could, he could be a productive piece for you. And really, in the 5th round, that's really all you can ask for is a guy who maybe you could throw in for a spot start here and there.
Oh, yeah. I love the Mitchell pick. I mean, he was one of the more efficient, actually, technically the most efficient running back last year in college football. I like him a lot as a player. I probably would have gone with him had I not already had Gibbs and McBride. But a quick recap of our picks. I mean, I'm blown away. Not the fact that I got Gibbs and Bryce Young. I'm content right there. And then to add on Jalen Hyatt, who's going to be a solid player, McBride, who's a great handcuff, and A.T. Perry, who's a shot in the dark, but if it hits, it'll hit well. I love the team. I really, really like Gibbs this year. He keeps growing on me. I didn't really talk about it much when I actually did draft him, but in PPR leagues, he's the go-to guy. I know that they have talent on the team. David Montgomery's there. He might get a lot of the goal line work, but Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be that guy that, by the second half of the season, he's really starting to take over.
Yeah, and I'm happy with my draft. I think the first 2 rounds, I kind of just went with the safe play guys who I think Addison is going to be the number 2 receiver. I think he'll definitely carve out a role for himself. Roschon Johnson, I think, is the most talented running back in that offense. I think he'll carve out a role for himself. And then with the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round pick, I'm taking guys who I believe in the talent, and I just have to hope that they get an opportunity. And I'm really going for a ceiling play there. And quite honestly, if one of those hit, I would say that this would be a good dynasty rookie draft.
Of course, I think we both did really well. And comment below what you guys thought of it. Any more videos on different types of drafts that we can do? We've already done 2 regular drafts. We've done Dynasty draft, and now we just did a rookie draft. So just let us know below what you want us to do. I know there's a bunch of different kinds. There's best ball, there's underdog, there's daily. We'll do them all. Don't worry. Just comment below what you want, and like this video, share it, and subscribe for more. Also, please check out the podcast, and we appreciate you guys for watching.